Okay, let's assume for a minute that you're an average Windows 10 user and have a perfectly good computer, laptop or desktop, but you can't upgrade to Windows 11. Windows 10 will reach end of life later this year, and you have heard people yapping about just use Linux. So you started looking at your YouTube videos and stuff and thinking, maybe I could. Hey, if Linux is good enough for YouTube royalty PewDiePie, it should be good enough for us mere mortals, right? So let's further assume that you don't use multiple monitors or have prosumer-style equipment or need to use really specific software like Photoshop, and you're not an avid gamer. In other words, a pretty average home computer user. So how would you actually do that? Move to Linux, I mean. In the following, I'll give some suggestions and tips on the process, and I'll refer to more detailed information by way of links in the video description. I'll also be careful to name the links so it'll be easy to see what's what. Okay? All right. First, pick a Linux distro. A distro is an operating system with a Linux kernel that comes with most everything you need to start using it right away. A web browser, video and audio software, an office productivity suite, and so on. To keep it simple, I'd recommend either Linux Mint Cinnamon Edition or Zorin OS. Both are linked below and are free to download and use, although Zorin does also have a paid version. Both are also similar enough to Windows 10 in look and feel that you won't freak out right away. Second, determine if Linux can run on your current hardware. It almost certainly can, but if in doubt, you can try Linux by running it from a USB stick without installing anything or messing up your existing Windows installation. It will run more slowly from the USB stick, so don't gauge its performance from that, but you can see if your laptop's wireless card will work, for example. See the links in the video description below to find out how to do that. It's really not hard, honestly. Third, if you decide to migrate, you'll need to copy your data, photos, videos, documents, music, etc., from your Windows PC so you can put it all back after Linux is installed. You can do something called dual booting, where you can have both Windows and Linux on the same computer and switch between them at startup, but I don't recommend that for the average Windows user. Just make a clean break if you're going to switch. So what should you back up and how would you do that? First, you're not doing anything with programs or apps here. Windows programs generally do not work on Linux and vice versa. Linux has its own software to play videos, write letters, and so on, which, as I mentioned, is included in the distro. We are only copying the contents of the folders in Windows Explorer, such as desktop, documents, music, pictures, and videos. Optionally, you can copy downloads too if you tend to keep stuff there. You should probably export or back up your web browser favorites or bookmarks too, so you can restore them later. Again, links below to that process. Linux has similarly named folders, so it should be easy enough to put things back where they belong. Copy any other folders you may have created yourself too, of course. You can put them back once Linux is installed also. If you're using Microsoft OneDrive, Linux does not support that directly, meaning OneDrive is not integrated into Linux. But you can still access your OneDrive files from a web browser in Linux. Just log in with your Microsoft account. Most Windows 10 installations will be running on a file system called NTFS, while Linux will use something different, of course. I only mention that because when you're preparing a USB device to copy your Windows files, I would recommend that you format it with the EXFAT file system. This will ensure compatibility between the two operating systems and also supports large files like videos. Again, links below on how to do that if needed. For specific details of the actual process of installing Linux, I've linked a couple of excellent videos below. Essentially, you'll be downloading something called an ISO file, which is a large file containing the contents of the new operating system. This file is then written to a USB stick in a special way so that it can be used to start your computer instead of starting Windows from its existing hard drive. This is the same process that's used to test Linux as described earlier. Importantly, This so-called bootable USB stick should be a different device from the one that you copied your data to. Preparing the USB stick to be bootable to Linux will destroy any prior data on it, so be careful. The hardest part here is probably trying to figure out how to make your computer boot off the USB instead of the hard drive or SSD. Most computers either have a key that you can press to start up, like F9 or F10, to either let you pick a different boot drive, or a key to get you into the BIOS, like Escape or F1 or F2, something like that, where you can alter the startup process there. Of course, it varies from vendor to vendor, but again, links below. Linux installation itself is no more difficult than installing Windows, although I'll admit most folks who are not in IT or tech enthusiasts have never done that either. It's mostly stuff like what's your time zone and create a username and create an admin password and so on. Linux installs are usually quite fast, maybe 10 minutes or so, unless you have a really old computer. Linux will also load and run on a computer with either a hard drive or an SSD. Once you have Linux up and running, if you have an NVIDIA brand video card, or one using NVIDIA chips from a different manufacturer, you will likely see a prompt to install drivers for it. Otherwise, you'll soon see a prompt to update Linux components. Go ahead and do that before copying your data back. You'll be pleasantly surprised at how quickly Linux updates go compared to Windows. Restart if prompted. You can then start copying the contents of the various folders to their counterparts in Linux. At this point, you may notice that there are no drive letters in Linux. Don't worry about it, you'll get used to that surprisingly quickly. As mentioned before, Linux comes with its own apps to play videos, etc. You can also download more or different apps from the App Store as needed. Typically, a Linux distro will come with LibreOffice or OpenOffice, something of that nature, which have Word, Excel, and PowerPoint equivalents. The web browser of choice is often Mozilla Firefox, but that can be changed if you prefer Chrome or something else. Web browsers work the same way on Linux as they do on Windows. And that's really it. It'll take you a little bit to get used to Linux, but I would venture to say not as much as moving from Windows to Mac, for example. As I mentioned, both Mint Cinnamon Edition and Zorin OS are similar enough in the general sort of look and feel to Windows 10 that you won't be put out too much. Plus, it'll let you use your old hardware for some time to come and keep it out of the landfill. Hope that was interesting, educational, or fun, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.